I've been a medical massage therapist for almost 20 years, and I've been with doTERRA about 11. So you don't hear about massage therapists hanging around for 20 years. You know why? Because we're tired and it hurts our body. But how many of you think that they would be a good target to talk to about doing the business? I think body workers are uniquely positioned to transition into a doTERRA business. Whether you're a massage therapist or a PT or a chiropractor, we already like working on people. We already love touching them. We're 50% there, right? But if you have a massage therapist on your team, you might be wondering, like, how do I get them to go all in? Because a lot of times we want to just be quiet and meditative and all to ourselves and in a quiet little room. If they told you you had to stand out here with a dress and high heels on, they would run as far away from you as they possibly can. I want to tell you some insights so that you have something to talk to them about in a way that they can understand. One of the things that we're really worried about is hurting ourselves. We are the business. If we are not working on somebody, we are not getting paid. Does anybody feel like they're working their business alone, their doTERRA business? Do you know how that feels to be scared to be the only one in your business? If I would have only been doing massage and I got in a car accident 2 years ago, which I did, it would have been devastating for our family. So mitigating fear is one of the ways that you can talk to a massage therapist about incorporating doTERRA into their business. Another scary fact is that 88% of massage therapists will quit within their first 3 to 5 years of doing the business. If you had introduced doTERRA to them and they were building that alongside, not only might they come on board with you full time, the second thing is they might be able to do what they love doing for a longer period of time. So as you think about some of the things I'm talking about, I want you to make sure that you're talking to them and make sure that they know they don't have to do it exactly like you do. They might not be able to see themselves doing doTERRA like you do. So ask them in a slightly different way. I'm going to say that my success in doTERRA comes less from being a massage therapist and more from translating those skills as a massage therapist or my previous career into a doTERRA business. It doesn't matter if you were a massage therapist or a CEO or a CFO or a nanny. If you can successfully transfer those skills, the strengths that you have in a previous career or just who you are into this business, you will see success for the long run because you won't get burnt out. I would say that, well, we know that you don't have to just be a massage therapist to do the Aroma Touch technique. It wasn't until I started making the Aroma Touch technique the focus of my business did I start to see enrollments happen as soon as people got off my table. So you can do Aroma Touch technique with people and you can do Aroma Touch technique with people, but if we systemize the way that we did it and it translated into a business that was growing and that was sustainable. So a massage therapist wants to know, how do I make money doing this and how can I offer this to the clients that I already have? So I feel like I have a lot of things in my arsenal. I'm not afraid to entertain people. I'm not afraid to, I used to teach dance in Japan. I could probably rock TikTok, but out of all the social media things and all the tools in my pocket, I feel like the Aroma Touch technique is the most effective thing that I can do to grow my business. Does anybody here feel like they're not rocking in-person events anymore? Do you feel like it's the events? Do you feel like it's the classes? Or is it maybe just you? I want to show you today how you can embrace your strengths and forget the rest, understand the value of transactional versus relationship building, fall in love with classes again, and I mean that, stack tried and true strategies, and take inspired action. This year, I started rocking classes, and I love them more than I ever have in the last 11 years. I have a waiting list for hostesses and guests, which I can't even accommodate because my schedule wasn't ready for. Would you like to feel that way again? So I didn't understand the difference between transactional wins and long-term momentum. My upline said that she was going to go for founders, and she had 500 points, and she was halfway there, and she was just going to go for it. And I said, okay, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it too. I probably have 500 points too. How do you look? And she looked it up for me, and the look on her face told me I did not have 500 points. I had under 100. I had like 90. But I just told her I was going to do it. But I hadn't been doing classes for a really long time, you guys. And I felt like the words in my head and the little voice was telling me, I just don't have it in me anymore. Does anybody like have that little voice sometimes in your head? I just don't know if they're for me. But I'd set that goal, and now I had a little bit of fear. I had FOMO, that we had a short amount of time and I had to figure out how to get this done. So I pulled from where I'd had success before, Diamond Club and the things that had been successful. And I got curious and I asked myself, what would be the most impactful thing that I could do today? What can I do? Because we talk about what I can't do, and I can't do this because of that, and I'm not her because of that. I don't want to talk about what I can't do. I only want to find the one thing that I can do. And I happened to be in Alaska for the summer, and I only had a short window from 7 a.m. to 11. I have another business up there, and I have elderly parents I'm taking care of. That's the window I had. And I thought, what could I do? We have 10,000 tourists, 20,000 tourists sometimes coming off cruise ship boats. And I thought, I could put Aroma Touch on every single one of them. I'm just going to follow them down the Alaska dock, and I'm just going to put Deep Blue on every person that looks like they're having a hard time walking. And it was really embarrassing. But you know what? It worked. Because essential oils work. And those transactions that happened, got me motivated to do more. And I got excited to start talking about doTERRA again. And pretty soon it became a joke. Every single person that walked by kind of had a limp or whatever. I just went up and put Deep Blue on them, and they'd go 1, 2, what is that? And they'd pivot, and they'd walk back, and I'd sell them a bottle of Deep Blue. But I knew that that wasn't gonna get me where I needed to go. So then I started selling them Deep Blue Rub and a Deep Blue Stick. Then when we had a lull in cruise ships, all of the other vendors that were standing around me, they wanted to know about Deep Blue too. So I had to do whatever it took to get out of that rut, and it was really clunky and it was really embarrassing. And the wheels hadn't turned for so long that it was rusty. But I asked myself, what can I do? So if you're writing anything down, just ask yourself that question, what can I do? So when I got back home to real life, I thought that was exhausting. I cannot do that for the next 10 years. I can't even do that for the next 10 weeks. How do I translate what can I do into growing a business and growing a team? And I had these team members. You guys may have, they weren't team members yet. They're people that I had asked to do the business maybe 10 times and they had said no to me, but they loved oils. But I'd been asking them the wrong way, just like you may have been asking your massage therapist the wrong way. I asked them, what are your strengths? What would you love to do? Because they couldn't see themselves doing what I do. And one of my best friends said, she's a CEO, she was working 80 hours a week, her job was killing her. And I would love to have her on my team. She has a network like no other. And she goes, Mindy, I'm never gonna drip oils on people. I'm never gonna touch people. And I said, you don't have to. What would you do? She said, in an ideal world, I would train leaders. I would train leadership teams in strength finding and emotional intelligence. I said, awesome, I don't ever want to do that. Will you train my teams and I will put oils on all of your friends? She was like, yeah. I'm like, let's do Aroma Touch technique. And she started sending me people every day, and they started getting on my table, and I was doing what I love to do and she was doing what she loved to do, and we started building a team that was actually felt like a team. So I didn't want to go from a massage therapist where I'm the only one in the business to another business where I'm the only one doing the business, right? That's exhausting. We can't do that forever. So I said, well, is this duplicatable? Let me ask my other friend. She's in the finance world, a CFO. I knew she didn't love her job, and I knew she loved oils. And I said, what can you do? Same question. She said, well, I love being organized. I can organize you. I can put booths together, and I can do spreadsheets. And I'm like, thank God, I need a handler. This is a mess. I don't want to do any of that. I don't even want to be behind a computer. So she started organizing these events, and you know what happened? We had clients that were coming in, and they were buying stuff, and they wanted to know when our next class was. It had been a long time since I taught a class. I thought they were done. I thought you had to be a social media influencer in order to, do the business these days. And so we got creative and we systematized it with this group of people with their strengths. And we pulled on what we knew from the business building guide, and we invited correctly, and we followed up on time, and we taught they told me how to teach the class really, really, really well. And it was fun. And I said, what class would I teach if I didn't care what the outcome was? How do I serve and how do I do this business with joy so that I can do it for the next 10 years? And I thought I would do spa parties all year long. That's actually how I met my upline, Jessica Moultrie. I didn't know she sold oils. I didn't know her at all, but someone introduced us, and I invited her to a spa party at my house. 20 women wearing your pajamas, soaking your feet, eating chocolate. And she said, what are you selling? And I said, nothing. She was like, I love you. And it was a beautiful friendship sparked that day. Spa parties, you guys, are so fun. And I have women saying this. They're sitting there soaking their feet in their sweats or their pajamas. They've got their washcloth on their face with Breathe or Shinrin Yoku. I don't even have to say anything. They're like, I love you. I love this. Can we do this every Friday? Can I bring my friends to something like this? I'm like, yes, you can. And we got really good at that spa party, and we did it for months. And we had so many people excited about it because women are stressed out and they just want to chill out without their family around. So I want to know if it's duplicatable. So what are we going to do now? We're coming into summer. It's hot. It's like 110 degrees in Idaho. And I was like, I don't know. Some of my friends won't come unless they're drinking. Can we do something with that? So we started doing these mixology classes. And they're cocktails and mocktails. I had 30 people come to my first mixology class. So I just want you to think about some fun things that you would like to do anyway. Maybe it's classes of the Bible. Maybe it's menopause. I see a lot of people doing these sourdough classes, and I don't understand what's happening there, but sourdough bread seems to be good. I like bread. I would come to your class if you invited me. Just get in there, right? So then I thought we need to capitalize on corporate-sponsored events. The Reclaim Your Health events rocked my world. Those little jars that they gave us to shake and drink, do you know how many women went crazy over those? I love them. I love that doTERRA provides that for us. And in the past, I'd had success with Diamond Club. So I thought, what could I learn this time? How can I do it smarter? And I pulled from my experience from Diamond Club, but I stacked some success habits. And one of them was, I want to do 4 classes in the same weekend with my host in a outside area. I want to invite correctly, and we invite with a postcard or with an invitation that says, hey, my business partner is coming to town and we're teaching 4 classes. It's a spa class, or it's a mixology class, or it's a 101 class, or it's a make and take. Which one do you want to come to? You know what they say? All of them. And I was like, well, guess what? You can only come to one. So they come to one, and now they have FOMO. They want to come to the other ones, and we say, no, you can't. But I'm coming back next month for Diamond Club or Silver Club, and let's do one at your house so it works out for your schedule and you can bring your friends. It'll be perfect. And they're like, yeah. So, you guys, I want to inspire you to get creative and do something that you have fun doing anyway. And I want to help you take inspired action to ask yourself, what can I do today? And if you feel stupid about it or you feel like I'm uncomfortable with that, think of me walking down a dock, almost getting arrested for stalking people and touching them with Deep Blue Rub. I did it, and it worked. It got me to Founders 2.0. You can start with that question. Find at least one class that you love to teach and get really, really good at it. And get comfortable with being uncomfortable or it feeling like a little bit clunky. I'm going to read this part because sometimes I cry when I talk about this. I know that many people feel disheartened thinking that to succeed in this business, you need to be an online influencer. But let me tell you, now more than ever, in-person events are far from being dead. In fact, they have been and they always will be the heart of our business. We live in a world where 58% of adults report feeling lonely, and studies show that isolation has surged in recent years. People crave real connection, you guys, and this is where we shine. Building relationships face-to-face and fostering community and creating genuine connections, These are the keys to long-term sustainable success. Social media may introduce people to oils, but personal interactions will build lifelong customers who trust you, who know you, and who are loyal not just to doTERRA, but to you. Thank you.